Hello, I just wanted to take a few minutes to explain the grading procedures for my IB History 12 class. This year I'm running a new, what we call standards-based grading model, where students have to demonstrate a level of knowledge on each of a number of standards in the course to demonstrate that they know what they need to know by the time they take their IB History exam. So instead of one test with one grade, our kids will take one test that has a number of grades. For example, on the first World War I exam, there might be 5 different standards assessed. And for each of those grades, a student could get a 2 that shows that they know exactly what they need to know, a 1 which shows that there's some holes in their understanding, or a 0 which means there's major misunderstandings that are happening. Now, unfortunately, Power School doesn't play very nice with standards-based grading. For example, a 2 would be 100% for Power School. That's great. But a 1 is a 50% grade, which it really does not demonstrate that the kid should be getting an F at that point. So what I do with the student is, after a series of standards have been assessed, I average all of those scores out. So when we average the student's scores, if they have a 2 and a 2 and a 1 and a 1 and a 0, I come up with an average, and then I base that on this scale that you can find on my syllabus. So if a student's average standard score falls between a 1.8 and a 2, we call that an A. And for Power School, I create one grade that is actually recorded as a final grade. I create one grade that's recorded as a final grade of 100% for that student. If their average is between a 1.6 and a 1.79, it's a B, and so on down the line. Now, the nice thing about the standards-based grading, the ultimate goal is for the student to know what they need to know by the time we take our IB exams, is that these low standard scores, 1s and 0s, can always be fixed. What a student needs to do is they need to meet with me at a time of our mutual convenience. They have to demonstrate that they've done some work to better learn the standard, and then I talk to them. We have a little conversation, and through that conversation, I will judge whether or not they're ready to be moved up to the next level. And when that happens, the final grade will change as well. The only caveat to this average is any zeros. If a student has a 0 on any one standard, that shows to me that they don't know what they need to know for the IB exam in May. And we can't have that happen. So if a student has a 0, they must fix that. A 0, even if the rest of their scores are 2s, a 0 will turn their grade into a 50%. So that needs to be fixed, and the sooner the better, because new standards are always being addressed in the class. Beyond that, the only additional grades that a student needs to concern themselves with are participation grades, and that's just demonstrated by a student actively being a part of the class, answering questions when they have the ability to, asking questions whenever something arises. They should be an active participant in class. And then whenever we have homework, whether it be just readings that they should do out of class or actually written work, that needs to be taken care of as well. But this by far is the biggest chunk of their grade, and I hope this helps you understand that grading system a little bit better.